This is Peter Russo MP, state member for Tuhi.
And this is Lewis MC.
He has
Magnificent.
he has probably attended how many citizenship ceremonies this morning?
Only one.
Only one, so this is the second one.
And then he was at the barbecue.
Barbecue. I've been doing a barbecue fun.
For what?
Friday day barbecue.
For
Okay.
Sunny Bank. Sunny Bank.
We're running a sausage, otherwise I would have invited you.
Why you want to do the sausage? The proceeds go to what?
Sunny Bank State High School feeding cities, citizens.
Oh, right.
So they raising money to do progress. So I don't know how many of you go to the Sunny Bank High. No one. That's okay. It's a good school.
Peter is the last member for Sunnybank. Now the first member for Tuhi. The name have changed from Sunnybank to Tuhi. I don't know why have changed it.
Because the electoral commission decided every 7 years they look at the boundaries and they the names of the electors and they try to make them more relevant to the people that live there.
So today we have the presiding officer, as I mentioned, Mr. Frank Carrot. He will be the presiding officer. Peter is one of our official party. There is another two official party. Another one is Duncan KNP, the state member for Stratton. Another one is Councillor Kim Marks, the councillor for Runcorn Ward. So they are what we call the official party. Peter will deliver his speech. His speech, usually we want him to speak something like his background, like Italian background. He's the Australian of the Italian background, like myself, is the Australian of the Chinese background. So Peter will be speaking about, hopefully will be speaking about where he comes from, your parents and ancestor. Okay?
So a very short speech. You don't need long speeches. Short is good.
Okay. Thank you very much, Peter.
G'day everyone. World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated, or WAMCI, was established in 2003 with Melody Chen as the founding president and Lewis Lee OAM as one of the founding board members. The purpose of WAMCI is to demonstrate and research information on a national and regional foundation with the multicultural and artistic achievements of all the performances, and also to support the multicultural arts activities and also enhance the exchange of arts. Over the years, WAMCI has been actively promoting the arts and activities by providing excellent performances to artists that are performing from overseas and also local artists. WAMCI has hosted a few performing programs that have received international acclaim. WAMCI has hosted a lot of activities. These are just a couple. The annual Brisbane International Arts Festival and Harmony Week, the annual Moon Festival celebrations, the movie Beyond premiere movie of Beyond Beauty Taiwan from Above at the Sunnybank Point Cinema in 2014, hosting 21 Australian citizenship ceremonies to celebrate Australia Day, like today, with Queensland Week, and also Citizenship Week. Also setting the new Guinness World Records for the largest drum performance involving 1,651 participants in 2012. So if you want further information, just type in WAMCI on Google, or you can go to their website, www.wamci.org.au for more details. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't started yet. As I say, we'll start at 3 o'clock, but before we start, can I ask Richard Wan to talk about the Australian Electoral Commission matter. Richard Wan is the Vice President of Arts and Multicultural Incorporated. Richard Wan, please.
Along with your certificate of Australian citizenship, you will receive a partially complete electoral enrollment form. Please check the details and correct date if necessary. Adding your occupation and household address, your Australian driver's license number, and statement sign. Once the form has been completed, the team for Australian Electoral Commission should collect the form from you. have an Australian travel license, please take your form to the Australian Electoral Commission. She will be happy to assist you. For those new citizens who are already on the electoral roll as eligible British subjects, please also sign and hand in the enrollment form so that your enrollment reports can be updated for your new citizenship status. All Australian citizens need to maintain their electoral details for their current address. Please be advised that new citizens may enroll to vote now by completing the electoral enrollment form given to you. If you are not enrolled for your current address, please go to see David King from Australian Electoral Commission. You may also go to the following website: www.abc.gov.au for more information about Australian Electoral Commission. Alternatively, you can contact Australian Electoral Commission by phone on 13 23 26 from 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Richard is the Vice President of World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated. Can you hear me all at the back? You all can hear me, right? Okay. We'll be starting on time, okay? We'll be finished. We'll try to finish on time too. As I mentioned earlier, if you just come in, you need to do registration at the left-hand side corner. Then after that, you go to proceed to AEC matter, go to AEC counter, which is the Australian Electoral Commission, David King, the officer, and also the two volunteers will help you to you're given a preview form. So you need to sign up, show your ID, and also submit that to AEC counter. After you have done that, you take a seat. As I say, those candidates who have RSVP for you, you have a seat. Those candidates who hasn't RSVP for you, you haven't got a seat. You need to stand at the back because we count every single number this morning up until half an hour ago. So all those seats is according to the number of guests, number of friends of relatives coming. So guests will be sitting from the back row, round about 5 or 6 row. The candidates will be sitting from the second row to the 5th row. Our official party and VIP guests will be on the front row here. In a few minutes time, very soon they will ask to come to the stage. I will not read each and every VIP name for official parties. Once the music starts, you all need to stand out, and those VIP official parties start with the presiding officer next with Melody Chen. They will take a seat, okay? After you have done that, I will do the opening, and also I tell you what my name is. My name is Louis Lee, and do housekeeping and all that. And after that, I will ask Yoni Switzerland, the Vice Chair, to do what we call acknowledgement of the traditional honor, and also the acknowledgement of our distinguished guests. After we have done that, we are asked the presiding officer to come to the stage and do the preamble, administrate the pledge. I mentioned earlier, you're given a place number 1 because you told us you are doing place number 1, you're given a place number 1 card. If you are doing place number 2, you're given place number 2 card. If you haven't got any because you are dependent or children under 16, you do not need to have pledge. What you have done, we will have the photograph taken, we'll call your name, you will come to the stage and take a photo. A photographer will be standing in the middle or the side, you'll ask, our archer will tell you what to do. You need to travel anti-clockwise, meaning you come from first row to here, anti-clockwise and take a seat. After the photo is taken, you take a seat. After that, we will ask to read about what Australian Citizenship Certificate is all about, and also how you also see the national anthem, we did the affirmation ceremony. John Chen will be doing the affirmation ceremony. John Chen have done 20 affirmation ceremonies. This will be 21st affirmation ceremony. When I say affirmation ceremony, there is a card, to fill the card. Everyone, if you are citizen or non-citizen, you can do the affirmation, no legal status. So if you are permanent resident, you can also participate in the Australian affirmation ceremony. That includes the A. Then we will ask John Chen or Jacqueline Lee to lead the national anthem. After we finish, we will do presentation of the speaker appreciation. Then I will do the photo page. Okay? I might tell you about the 70th anniversary Australian citizen. On the 26th of January 2019, which is today, it is the 70th year since Australian citizen was introduced into the law, creating the first time a legal status of being unique Australian. During that time, Australia had welcomed more than 5 million new citizens to Australia. The first Australian citizenship ceremony was held on the 3rd of February 1949. At that ceremony, 7 people representing each Australian state and territory swore the allegiance to our nation. Although they come from many countries from around the world, and they were united in their desire to make official pledge and committed to become a citizen of Australia. Thousands of people from around Australia take Australian citizenship each year. In doing so, they made a commitment to the Australian value, equality of opportunity, mutual respect, and also tolerance, freedom of speech, religion, and commitments of democracy and Australian law. And in return, they add to the riches and also diversity of the Australian community. To mark this anniversary, Australian Post have released a postage, prepaid envelope, also a postal cover, both official 70th anniversary of the Australian Citizen Emblem, which incorporates Australia's national flower, the white waters, into the design. The postal emblematic cover contains a special edition of the $1 coin produced by the Perth Mint. The coin will also be presented to all the new Australian and the citizens as part of the 70th anniversary celebration. So each and every candidate today, not only you receive an Australian citizenship certificate, you will be given this coin, $1 coin. By the way, if you go to the Australian Post Office, you can buy that for $19.95. Melody bought 2. I was told that there is none around the Sunnybank now. This is all gone. The Sunnybank Post Office is $19.95. So we will give to each and every candidate today. We got 63. We, Department of Home Affairs, give us 63. So there is no extra or less, whatever. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin, I would like to pay my respect to the Jagara people, the traditional custodian of the land we meet upon today. I pay my respect to the elders, past and present, and the elders from our community who may be with us today. Please stand for the official party and VIP guests to enter and come to the front. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our presiding officer and our host, followed by all the official party. Today, we mark the 70th year since the conception of the Australian citizen was introduced into our law, the National and Citizenship Act 1948. My name is Louis Lee. I'm your MC today, also the volunteer organizer. This is the 21st Australian Citizenship Ceremony hosted by All Arts and Multicultural Incorporated. For your information, the ladies and gents are on my right. If there's a fire, please follow the S6 sign. This appreciate if you can switch off your mobile phone and switch to a silent mode. This ceremony is proudly supported by Lord Mayor's Suburban Initiative Fund and also the Council of King Marks Council for Grand Cornwall. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask Citizenship Vice Chair Leonie Sweetman to do the acknowledgement of the traditional honor and VIP guests. Leonie Sweetman, please.
Thanks, Louis. I would like to acknowledge the traditions of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people on whose land we are gathered here. Mr. Graham Perrin, MP, the presiding officer for this citizenship ceremony, authorised by Minister under the Australian Citizenship Act 2007. Louis Lee, OAM, Master of Ceremonies, volunteer organiser and also Life Honorary Advisor, World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated. Melody Chen, Life Honorary President, World Arts and Multicultural, and the host. Edward Lin, President, World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated. Peter Russo, MP, State Member for Toohey. Duncan Pegg, MP, State Member for Stretton. Councillor Kim Marks, Councillor for Runcorn Ward. Morel Rothschild Freeland, Department of Home Affairs. Debbie King, Australian Electoral Commission. Surendra Prasad, OAM Chair, Australians of Indian Heritage War Memorial Committee. Michelle Alsop, Director of Sales and Marketing, Compass Inc. and Sweet Rocket Gardens. Vera Pottinger, President, Australian Indonesian Culture and Welfare Association. Alan Chen, Honorary Sponsor, Australians of Chinese Heritage War Memorial Committee. Laura Chen, Honorary President, Queensland North West China Business Association, Incorporated. Florence Gage, Secretary General, Queensland Taiwanese Federation Association. Jessica Yang, President, Global Federation of Chinese Businesswomen of Australia. All the World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated Citizenship team and volunteers. Last of all, I would like to acknowledge the 63 candidates, soon to be new citizens from 20 different countries, and their guests. Thank you.
Thank you. We are in Finland. You are the Citizenship Chair of Vice Chair of the World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated, also the Vice President of the World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite our presiding officer, Mr. Grant Parrott, the federal member for Bolton. He is our presiding officer. I'm going to hand over to our presiding officer now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Parrott, MP, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Lewis, and all for making today possible. Could I acknowledge the traditional owners and thank them for their strong and continuing stewardship on this, the 26th of January, which is a difficult day for the first Australians. The oldest civilization on Earth, the oldest language on Earth, is here for 3,000 generations. So I know today it can be a challenging day for the younger people and all traditional owners of this land. But also say a special national day celebration to the people of India. My wife's grandfather came from India back in 1914, so I'll have to go home and let her know that today is also a special day. My job is to read a message from the Honourable David Coleman, the Minister for Immigration, Citizenship and Multicultural Affairs. And I'll begin. Today you become an Australian citizen. We are immensely proud of what we have achieved as a nation, and we welcome you in joining us. Our history and culture has been forged over thousands of years, first through Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and more recently with people from all corners of the earth. Australia has succeeded as a nation by embracing and defending our national values. We believe in freedom, in the rule of law, in democracy. We believe that all people are equal, regardless of their cultural background, gender, race, or religion. We are a resilient nation. We have overcome world wars, depression, drought, and flood. We stand with other strong democracies in helping to defend and protect hard-fought freedoms. By committing yourself to Australia today, you have chosen to embrace our nation and its values. Like so many millions of people throughout our history, you have decided to take on the rights and responsibilities of Australian citizenship. On behalf of the Australian Government, I congratulate you on reaching this very special day. It's now your responsibility to join all of us in building an even stronger nation. The Honourable David Coleman MP, Minister for Immigration, Citizenship and Multicultural Affairs, and the member for Banks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perry, and Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask Melody Chen, the host, to deliver her speech. Melody Chen, please.
Thank you, Lisa. Today, we have 16 political candidates from 20 different countries becoming Australian citizens. We are very honored to host the citizenship ceremony under the guidance of MC Louis Lee, OAM, volunteer organizer and also life honorary advisor for Art and Multicultural Incorporation. Australia is a wonderful country, rich in cultural harmony and diversity. Your Australian citizenship is about making a contribution. I cherish this great honor of being able to be part of assisting with this important step in our new life. Once again, congratulations to the candidates who will be the new Australian citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Melody. I'd like all the President of the Multicultural Association. Next, I'm going to ask Mr. Peter Russell, the state member for Toohey, to deliver his speech. Mr. Russell, MP.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners on which land we are gathered here this afternoon, elders past, present, emerging. Like I said earlier, my speech is going to be very short, but Lewis often encourages me to talk about my heritage, and I'm very lucky in the sense that my father came to Australia when he was about 7 with his mother, and settled in North Queensland. So I grew up in a little town called Ingham, but affectionately known as Little Italy, because it was one of those places where I think there were more people settled from Italy, mainly Sicily and Calabria and those other places, settled in North Queensland, and I was lucky enough to have a heritage that saw my grandfather, who was a great cook, prepare many great family meals. And recently I was searching through some photos at home, and I found a couple of photos of our family gathered around the table, and it reminded me of some of the diverse cultures that we have here in my electorate, but in Australia. So I grew up with a strong emphasis on family and friends, and I know that Italians aren't alone in carrying that on. I know that other cultures also carry that mantle of honouring family, keeping family, celebrating family, and so that's just a short part of my story. My dad had an interesting story, and it's too late for me to ask him because he's long gone, but he was interned during the Second World War, basically because he hadn't become an Australian citizen. So, but it was enough motivation after the end of the war for him to become an Australian citizen, because he said he didn't want to go through being interned again. But he wasn't bitter about being interned. He had a lot of fun stories about the shenanigans that they all got up to. He worked on the Western River, out Bjorn and out those places. That story is another day, but I'd like to congratulate everyone who's becoming a citizen today of this great country. Don't forget about where you come from. For some of you, I know that's a difficult task because you may not be able to go back as readily as some other people, but always remember where you came from. It's important. Carry on your traditions, and welcome to this wonderful place.
Thank you, Mr. Russell, and he is a member for Tui. I pronounce that as Russell. A lot of people pronounce it Russell. Russell is wrong. It should be pronounced as Mr. Russell. Ladies and gentlemen, next, can I invite Mr. Duncan Pett, the state member for Stratton, to deliver his speech. Mr. Duncan Pett, MP, please.
Thanks very much, Lewis, and good afternoon to everyone. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, to all the elected representatives and community leaders already acknowledged, and of course to World Arts and Multicultural Incorporated, who do a fantastic job in our local community, not only running citizenship ceremonies in hundreds of Australians who become citizens, but they do a tremendous amount of community work, supporting cultural festivals and a whole fantastic community work in Wellington basis. So thank you. And to Michelle and everyone at Property Gardens, I know you allowed us to use this venue on so many occasions. That's really wonderful as well. I don't intend to talk for very long, but of course, most importantly to all the candidates who are about to become Australian citizens, this is very important that you and all citizenship ceremonies are special, but this one's particularly special because it's on the 26th of January, so it's Australia Day, and also a day where more Australians become citizens than any other day in the calendar. So if nothing else, we won't forget which day you became citizens, so you won't forget anniversaries and birthdays. This one. Peter talked about his story. My mother actually became a citizen a bit over 7 years ago now, so relatively recently. And to me, one thing that really did, before I was elected into Parliament, I attended citizenship ceremony before, just after I got elected a few years ago. I represented a ceremony at City Hall. I remember sitting there on stage and seeing a young man in the second row, and after the pledge, he looked up, it was like he'd won the Powerball, and he was just so happy. He couldn't wipe the smile off his face, and he looked into the heavens, and it really died for me how much it means and how special it is. So enjoy your special day with your friends and family. Congratulations, and it's really appropriate that when we've got over 60 candidates here from over 20 different countries, that this ceremony is happening in the most multicultural part of Queensland. Thank you for allowing me to join you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pett, and Mr. State Member for Stratton. Ladies and gentlemen, we only have the last official speech, very important one. Next, I would like to invite Councillor King Marks, the Councillor for Runcorn Ward. This event is supported by Lord Mayor's Urban Initiative Fund and also supported by Councillor King Marks. Councillor King Marks, please.
Thank you very much, and as always, it's traditional that we acknowledge the original owners of this country and the elders both past and present. I think that highlights exactly why Australia is so great, the fact that we do that acknowledgement, and it just shows that you do not ever leave your traditions behind. I think pretty much most of us here are born in another country and have been migrants ourselves. Russo is a migrant, as was mentioned. Myself and one, I came from New Zealand many years ago. Not many people pick up that I still have that accent, but there you go. I myself undertook a citizenship ceremony today, so I'd like to find it very special occasion. And as the rest of it's my pleasure to financially support this event from the University of Fund. So I just want to say congratulations to you all. You're going to take a fabulous event which we will never forget in your life, and one that will welcome you with open arms to our country. So on that note, thank you very much for making me part of your special day.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the important part. So I'm going to ask Mr. Parrott to come back to here to do the preamble and also the pledge of commitment. Mr. Parrott, please.
Thank you, Lewis, and thank you to Melody, Peter, Kim, Duncan, for those wonderful words. Today there is a formal part of the ceremony, and I know that the Australian Border Force are here supervising to make sure we do the right thing. Okay, otherwise you won't be Australian citizens. So there are things that I have to do. Edward and Melody know this, that's why Lewis Lee knows this. I think this is Lewis, I think it's his 800 citizenship ceremony. Sorry, 30 still. All right, I knew he had done many, working with World Arts and the volunteers to make today possible. But it is a special day for the first Australians, but it's also special because unlike people that become citizens say on Harmony Day later in March, you will actually receive a special $1 coin from the Australian government. Okay, because it's 70 years since the 1949 Citizenship Act. Before 1949, there were legally no Australians. We were British citizens. Indigenous Australians weren't British citizens. They lived here, but they weren't classed as citizens. Alright, so since 1949, there's been this, for the last 70 years, this process of people going through a legal process to become Australian citizens. So make sure you treasure this coin. I think they're worth about $8,000 each. Is that correct? Yeah. Or maybe 7,000. All right. So look after it. Look after it. You have three levels of government here today. You have local government with Kim, Duncan and Peter from state government, and me from the federal level of government. After today, you will have to vote in the levels of government when the elections come. Okay, that is a part of Australian democracy. We were one of the first nations to bring in compulsory voting. Right, so that is something that you will have to do. But really, apart from voting after that, you won't have to listen to any politicians. All right? Right, you've heard some wonderful speeches today, and because Kim, Peter and Duncan all did shorter speeches, I've added an extra 15 minutes onto my speech. As a special treat for you. I know Kim Mark would appreciate that because she has heard my jokes every year for about 10 years. All right, now my job is the formal part of the ceremony is to, in accordance with the Australian Citizenship Act 2007, is to read the preamble from Schedule 1 of the Australian Citizenship Regulation 2016. Now, if you're one of the 63 candidates from the 20 countries, you need to pay attention. And I begin. Australian citizenship represents full and formal membership of the community of the Commonwealth of Australia. And Australian citizenship is a common bond involving reciprocal rights and obligations, uniting all Australians while respecting their diversity. Persons on whom Australian citizenship is conferred enjoy these rights and undertake to accept these obligations. By pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, by sharing their democratic beliefs, by respecting their rights and liberties, and by upholding and obeying the laws of Australia. I will now ask the conferees who are making pledge number 1. There's number 1 on the back. If you wish to make the pledge on your holy book. So all of those making pledge number 1, please stand. Pledge number 1. And if you are making the pledge on a holy book, please hold that book in your hands now. And repeat the pledge line by line after me. From this time forward, under God. I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Thank you. Please be seated. All the conferees who are making pledge number 2, please stand. There is no pledge number 3, so you must be standing if you want to become an Australian today. Please repeat after me. From this time forward, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. people have made pledge number 1, could you stand now, please? And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our new Australian. Well done. You look different already. All right, please be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Parrott MP. Ladies and gentlemen, now to the presentation of certificate and the gift. I'm going to ask Mr. John Prescott to come to here to call the candidate. John Prescott, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, each candidate who has made the pledge is called forward to receive the Australian Citizenship certificate and gifts from Mr. Graham Parrott. I now ask Melody Chen, Peter Russo, Dr. Pegg, and Councillor Kim Marks to be beside Mr. Parrott. Lewis has it all done, and everything's running smoothly. And then candidates will also receive the gift from the Department of Home Affairs, which has partnered with the Perth Mint to produce the commemorative $1 coin to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the citizenship. So the candidates' names will be called out now. When your name is called, come around to the front and then have a group photo, and then go on to the right, and then go back to your seats.
All right, okay.
Okay, so we have Joshua Amos to come. And then the next person, if you can get ready, Fernando Baptista. Get ready. Abhad Baji, can you just get ready after?
Where's the coin? Should be.
And then I think we have Fernando next, yeah? And then if Ming Yong Choi can get ready. Okay. Ming Yong Choi. Ya Chun Choi as well. Can you please get ready? And then Chu. Yeah. And then Vicky, if you can get ready, please. 15 first time. Vicky.
Please take a seat. When you have done the certificate, please take a seat.
Ahmed Ibrahim. And then, do you want a group photo with everyone else as well? Yeah. So we have Amira, and then Mohammed as well.
Yes, one family.
One family. So do you want a group photo?
This one,
Yeah.
One big
Chun Fan. Can you get ready? Fits to Habib.
If you have the certificate, please take a seat, okay?
Jong Ju Hong, can you get ready, please? then also Kyung Chee Hong as well.
Yep. Yongchi. Okay. That's right.
Kumara Isan as well.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Marco Krishna. Kim In Mortiza. And then Marco. Yongmin Lee. Kitty Wei. Yongmin Lee. And then Seon Lee.
Congratulations. You hold that one. And you must be Sean Lee. Congratulations. You come in the middle. Now can you hold that for me and look up this one? There we go. Right.
Shi Yu Liu.
Well done,
Get
guys.
ready, please.
Congratulations. Well done.
Yong Chin Ma.
That's right. Come in.
And Kura, if you can get ready. Mara. I do apologize. Maria. Isan Meisu Obagara. Via Moya. And
You got to hold the coin and look up. No. Just up here.
told me.
Just up here. Good boy. You did well. Congratulations. This way. Congratulations.
like my design, you can get ready.
Yep.
You have a certificate, please take a seat and please be quiet, please. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Come in, come in.
Ms. Kimani, you can get ready. Nelson Song.
We can do it.
Hurry on, please. Thank you.
Akil.
Perfect. Excellent. On the left.
Vishya Patel. And then we have a couple. Saji and then Nakapasho.
Saji.
Everything all right there?
So you're then. You come in the middle, is it? Okay, you hold this. Now you're going to look up at this cover first, right? Now this one. Get that?
Anushka Raha.
Please come in. This one first.
Sandra Russell.
This way. Well done.
That's yours.
Sandra. Congratulations, Sandra. Beautiful photo.
And then we have a family.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Three of you.
Start with. Good.
Then we have two more as well.
Felici.
Congratulations.
And also
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, mate, you are the best looking dude here in the place today. Amit? Yeah. Your name Amit? Congratulations, Amit. I've got a big coin here for you. You'll have to look after that. All right. That. Hold the coin just behind. And Andy. Congratulations. And you're already here. All right, you got this. Maybe sweet. Yeah, okay. Come in.
Satawa, you'll get ready.
And then up here for this one. And then over. Right, well done. Hello, how are you? Zara? Congratulations, Zara. Come in. I won't bite. Won't bite much. Look to you. Well done, don't drop that. Namra? Namra, congratulations.
Keep the noise down a little bit.
A bit. Alright, hold that point. Alright, now we're going to hold, look up this one first. Hold that against your chest.
42 of that one, jump 1 and 42. Check double check the numbers we want. That one, different, yeah. Number 1 and number 2 and number that, yeah. And that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennis Street? Tennis Street? Congratulations. And are you with Mukesh? Congratulations.
Yeah.
And Danima. All right, congratulations. All right, how are we going to do this? All right, now we're going to look here first.
Then we have Abhijit Singh.
Tim. Hello, guys. Okay, mate. Congratulations.
Sweet.
Then we have Alan, Cheryl, and Isaac Khan.
Hello, Alan. Cheryl. Isaac. No.
Yeah, from Singapore.
Alan. Alan. Cheryl. And
Now it's good.
all right, come in. And we're looking at this.
Dạ, dạ. Chơi không này.
Then Thomas.
This.
Then we have the last one. Yes.
This is the last one. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hand together. Thank you very much. We haven't finished yet. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. We haven't finished yet. You all behave very well. Ladies and gentlemen, I now ask Mr. Grandparent to give you 5 advices. This is from him, not from the Department of Home Affairs, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, now I ask Mr. Parent MP to give you 5 advices.
Thank you very much, Lewis. And as Lewis said, this is not something contained in the citizenship legislation. So you can relax. This is not something the Minister will be looking out for. But these are, I've been to many citizenship ceremonies with community groups over the years, and these are the tips that Kim Marks, Peter Russo and Duncan Pegg have given me. We've workshopped these, we've come together and agreed that these are the ways in which we make a stronger Australia. And the first tip for making you a better Australian is to find some Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander words. Particularly for the Yagra people, the local people, but you might find words from somewhere else. Peter might find some from Ingham, or from my hometown. One of my favourite words is from the Kamilaroi people, which is a word when someone is acting in a stupid way. It's sort of 1 degree less than stupid. You'd say they're being narragar, and that's a word I use in Parliament all the time. Okay, so that's one word, but you can find your own word for cold or whatever, and then use it, and particularly use it when you're talking to the country of your birth. And you say, just slip an Aboriginal word into a conversation, and they'll say, what does that mean? And you explain it. The second one is to find some bit of Australian soil or a plant that you can have a connection with. If you go up to Tui Forest, get one of the gum leaves and rub it into your hands, you'll smell a little bit of Australia. It'll smell differently after today. If you contact your local councillor, you can even find some plants and plant them in an appropriate place, either at your home or if you're renting, talk to your landlord. Local council are able to provide native species, and that will obviously help birds native birds and the like. So that's my second tip. The third tip is to find some Australian literature that speaks to you, particularly if you can find some Australian poetry. And there are many poets like Banjo Patterson and Henry Lawson and the like, Dorothy McCullough. There's lots of Australian poets from the 1900s and 1800s, but also poets who started writing only last year after arriving in Australia. So find some literature, find some poetry that speaks to you of the Australian story, whatever that is. The fourth one is to share a meal with your neighbours. Share a meal, particularly share some of the cuisine from your country with your neighbours so that they feel welcome and you feel connected with your community. And sharing a meal with someone is always a great way to get rid of misconceptions and misunderstandings. Now the fifth recommendation for how to become a good Australian is a bit more controversial. For example, it ends up if anyone came from India. Alright, so classic example would be I ask you to find an Australian team you can support. Now, if you like cricket, obviously you're going to keep India as the number one test team in the world. At the moment, it'll be hard for you to go all the way down to number 5 and back Australia. All right, I understand that. So I understand, but you still need to find an Australian team that you can support. So if you're mad about cricket and you're from India, you might say, all right, well, I'm going to follow Australia in the netball rather than the cricket. All right, so you need to find an Australian team that you can say, I'm cheering for Australia. And I understand that you might not, necessarily drop your country of birth or the country of origin. However, if you ever make an Australian team your third choice, that is when Australian Border Force will come and take you and deport you. Now that's not a well-known fact, but that's what happens. So you need to find an Australian team that you can support. And as I said, those 4 other tips, find an Aboriginal word or a Torres Strait Islander word, make a connection with Australian fauna, find some literature, some poetry especially, share a meal and find an Australian sporting team, and that will make you a wonderful Australian. All the best. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I ask Edward Lee, the President of WAMCI Multicultural Incorporated, to talk about the Australian Citizenship Certificate. Edward, please.
Hello, citizens, please check your citizenship certificate carefully. Your official Australian citizenship certificate is an important legal document and is your evidence of Australian citizenship. Please ensure your name, date of birth are correct, and today's date is printed on your certificate in the bottom left-hand corner. If there are any problems, you will need to see the officer Marielle from Department of Home Affairs. Officer Marielle is in the front row here. Your certificate should be stored in a cool and fresh, dry location. Please do not damage your certificate by folding it. Damaged certificate will not be accepted by the Australian Passport Office. We also do not recommend framing your certificate. You will need to quote the ACC number listed on the back of your certificate to apply for Australian passport. Citizenship certificate should not be laminated, and you should not frame it or laminate them, because you will need to use it later on for applying passport office to a passport from Australian Passport Office. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, next is the affirmation ceremony. Can I ask Mr. John Chen, the Vice President of WAMCI Multicultural Incorporated? This is his 21st affirmation Australian formation ceremony that you will start. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Chen.
Now that we have witnessed the bridge, the commitment made by our new citizens, I would like to invite everyone to participate in the Australian Citizenship Affirmation Ceremony. The Australian Citizenship Affirmation is based on the bridge that our new citizens have just made. Participation in the Australian Citizen Affirmation is voluntary and it carries no legal status. The affirmation was introduced in 1999 as part of the anniversary celebration of Australian citizenship, as a way for people who were born as Australian citizens to be able to make a public pledge of commitment. Those who are not Australian citizens but feel a strong connection to Australia are also welcome to participate. Just join in from the second line. If you would like to take part, please stand and repeat the line after me. The words can be found on the affirmation card you received. Please stand. Repeat after me. As an Australian citizen, I affirm my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic belief I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose law I uphold and obey. Thank you.
For away, Mr. John Chen, now we are singing of the national anthem. Can I ask John Chen to lead the national anthem together with Jacqueline Lee, please? Please stand for national anthem.
Australia, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We golden soil, wells for toil, our home is turned by sea. Our land of love, which nature's gift, our beauty rich and rare. In his page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strength, and let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath the radiant southern cross, we'll toil with heart and hand to make his power welcome one, freedom of all their lives. For those who can across the sea, we'll bound its grace to share. Which God is let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strength, and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the can you hear me? Ladies and gentlemen, now is the presentation of the certificate of appreciation to our official party and VIP. Our volunteer get ready, please. Yvonne, get ready, please. Our photographer get ready. Can I ask Melody Chen, Edward, all the vice president, John Chen, Richard Wan, who else? Bionic treatment. Come over here. Can I have the first one, please? Mr. Grandparent. Melody Chen, come to this side. Another one to this side. Where's John Cheng? We need John Cheng before we do this presentation. Where's John Cheng? Hurry up, run please. You need to go to this side, okay? Look over here. That's it, quick. Look over there, okay? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Barrett, the presiding officer. You okay? Okay, next one. Next one is Mr. Peter Russell. We're going to do another one. Peter Russell, member for two. Member for two here. John Cheng, you shouldn't run away. Okay, looking to the camera. Oh, camera. Thank you. Next, Mr. Dr. Peck, and I instruct Mr. Edward Lee to present that. Can I ask Richard to go the other side? Okay, Republic now, okay, go to the camera. Give you 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next. Can I ask a few marks? The Councillor for Rangoon Ward. This event is supported by Lord Mayor's Suburban Initiative and also supported by Council. Thank you very much. You have to do that next time. I have Surrender Prasad, the chairman of the Australian Indian Heritage Memorial Committee, also the president of the DGN Senior Citizen of the Queensland. Thank you, Surrender. Can I start? Okay, Alan Cheng. Alan Cheng is the honorary sponsor of the Australian Chinese War Memorial Committee. Alan Cheng, please. Where is Alan Cheng? On this side. Okay, please look to the camera. 1, 2, 3. Next. Jessica Young. Jessica is the president of Global Federation of Chinese Women Association of Queensland. Jessica Young. To Vera Popkin, President of the Australian Nation Cultural and Welfare Association. Thank you very much. I need to forget your title. Thank you. Richard, do another one. And I have Marion Rothschild, the new Department of Home Affairs, as Grant mentioned, the border protections. Look at it. Australian border protection. Thank you. Next. Can I make sure also very important today? Can I ask Director of Marketing, Sales and Marketing of the Comfort Inn and also Robertson Garden. This complex here is owned by this lady here, Michelle Armstrong. You want to say a few words? I give you 30 seconds, Michelle.
Congratulations everybody, and how exciting that you're joining us and being an Australian. Welcome, and look forward to many more multicultural events. Hope to see many of your faces there.
Thank you, Michelle Armstrong. That way she will give us a discount for renting this place. I have Florence there, the Secretary General of Queensland Federation of the Taiwanese Association. That's Florence there. I think her name is Florence Shi, but somehow she called Florence there now. That's the middle name Shi. Who wants to be the last one? Thank you, Laura Chen. Have we finished yet? Okay, thank you. You may take a seat now. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer a vote of thanks to each and every one of you for your attention. I would like to thank Mr. Grant Parrott, he is the presiding officer, and thank his staff for the assistance in preparation of this ceremony and printing of the program and certificate of appreciation and other documents. Thanks, Councillor King Max, for the Lord Mayor Suburban Initiative Fund. I think I mentioned 5 times. Appreciating. Thanks, Robertson Garden, for providing the venue. Thanks, Amanda Goski and Michelle Armstrong and the team from the Robertson Garden for your wonderful service, as always. And I thanks to all the elected representatives and the VIP guests for your speeches, guidance, and attendance. Appreciate it. You need to say, without the support and involvement of Jessica Coleman, Marion Rochbell, Valu, and the team for the Department of Home Affairs, this event would not have been possible. Big thank you to them. Thanks David King from the Australian Electoral Commission to attend the ABC matter. Now I would like to thank all the WMCI citizenship team. Would all the WMCI citizenship team please stand now, wave your hand, put your hand together for all the outstanding contributions in registration, articles, deliver of the music, singing of the national anthem, photography and song. Last but not least, a very special thanks to all the new citizens and relatives and friends for attending this ceremony. Did I say I will finish there by 4 o'clock? I think I tried to. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. On behalf of the Australian Government, War Arts and Horticulture, I would like to congratulate again and wish you a family, a happy and successful future as a citizen of Australia. Please join us. Just 2 more photos. Okay, 2 photos. You do not have to do anything. You do not have to move around. Our photographer will tell you what to do. Okay, 2 photos. And my job is completed today. Now, thank you very much. Thank you.
We're just going to have a little group photo now. See this little man up here who's going to take the photo from above. Photo.